So I've already made a video of the 15 players, face scans, and hairs that were updated in NBA 2K21, but there was 40 in total. A couple of them were like legendary players, other players were WNBA players, and then a lot of them were players that don't get a lot of playing time, but I still wanted to cover those players in today's video. Que pasa to the pack? It is Pack here,
aka your mama's best friend.
Here's the second part of that update face video for batch 10. Before this video starts though, please be an OG, join the pack, and subscribe. That's gonna help the channel out a ton. You have no clue. Also leave a like on the video. It helps with the video succeed way more than it's supposed to, right? So I'm gonna start off at number 1 on this list. And I'm going to be starting with CJLB on the Blazers. He's a 68 overall. Had a player created scan rather than an actual face scan. This is actually extremely common with a lot of players that are either new to the NBA, like rookies, or only on their second year but don't play a lot. Very common. This is just another example of that. But it looks really good on the right with the facial hair and the hair. Really accurate, and the face scan as well. I think it's pretty good. At number 2 on the list, we have Devontae Cadcock. What did you call me? Devontae's on the Lakers. He's also a 69 overall. Not one of the most highest rated players. I don't even know how much minutes he's actually played for the Lakers in general. But on the left, he had a player creator scan rather than an actual face scan. And they added his tattoos as well. I think this is also very accurate. Not bad. Also, on the left, they way over exaggerated his mustache. On the right, it's a lot better. At number 3 on the list, we have Jalen Horde, 69 overall on the Thunder. You may think 69's overall, it doesn't matter, but on the Thunder, dude, you never know. This team, randomly one player drops 20 and they become a 75 overall like in the next day. It's been very common with Thunder players, and I wouldn't have been surprised if it happened again with Jalen Horde. But still, 69 overall, a lot better on the right. I mean, on the left, it wasn't even close, so I'm glad they fixed that for sure. Number 4 on the list, now we have Kyle Guy. Kyle Guy on the left is actually not a player created scan. That was actually their attempt of making Kyle Guy. But if I'm being honest, on the right, it's not great either. If we're being 1000% honest with ourselves, it's not bad, but it's just not great. He has that kind of me when I wear a hat haircut going on. But hey, I mean, at the end of the day, it's way better than the one on the left, so you have to take that as you will. Up next at number 5, we have 70 overall Elijah Hughes on the Utah Jazz. I mean, this is a pretty important one to make. When you have a team that's one of the best teams in the NBA, you got to make sure that everybody on the team is made correctly. I think it's only right for those players, right? At least in my opinion, right? So on the left, even though it was a player created scan, I guess it wasn't that bad, because on the right, even though that looks exactly like Elijah Hughes, I'm not gonna lie, his face looks like you could create it in 2K. Like on the left. They're actually pretty similar if we're being honest. But still, it's still way better on the right though, just straight up. At number 6 on the list, we have 70 overall Grant Williams on the Celtics. He's been on the Celtics for I think a couple years now. One of the more jacked players in the NBA. This dude is jacked, right? And on the left, it wasn't bad at all. It was actually an actual face scan, but on the right, they just made it even more. I do think that they over detail these faces a little bit, and they're making these players look a little older than like I guess they need to be, but still, overall, it's better. At number 7 on the list, we have Yogi Ferrell, one of the shorter players in the NBA, 71 overall on the Clippers. Dude is still a baller. Even though he doesn't get that many minutes, when he plays, I feel like he does a pretty good job. And again, the Clippers are one of the better teams. It's important to add it. On the left, it didn't look bad, but on the right, it just looks so much better. At number 8 on the list, we have Justin James on the Kings. So Justin James has a face scan that's updated. The skin tone is updated. They have more detail on the acne, and even though the hair is almost the same, the beard is longer, and just little structures to the face changes. And overall, it's these little things that make the face scan look 10 times better. And I love it when they do that, because even the 2K is not satisfied. Even though they have a face scan that looks pretty decent, they're like, no, we can make it better, and they focus on that, and that's important. At number 9 on the list, we have Isaiah Joe, 71 overall on the 76ers. Another player that had a player created scan. Now he has an actual face scan itself. Beard is a lot more realistic and detailed. The hair on the top of his head is also very detailed, and the face scan is fantastic. And the nose is not over exaggerated like it is on the left, which is very good, very solid. At number 10 on the list, we have Shvi. Now Shvi is on the Thunder, another player. He's a 72 overall right now. I think he started the season off at like a 68, so he upgraded a pretty good amount here on the Thunder. Another one that it already looks kind of good on the left, but on the right, it just looks even better. The hair is darker, which is a little more accurate to Shvi. The eyes are adjusted correctly because they're not completely equal like they are in real life, right? So Little details here and there. Not the biggest change, but the little ones here and there make it look even better. So at number 11 on the list, we have Blazers player Nasir Little. He's a 73 overall, actually plays decent minutes on the Blazers, actually helps here and there. The only change is the face scan and the hair. No tattoo changes because he already had the tattoos. Not like a major change, but definitely a little one. I think it's the hair more than anything that I see a big difference of. A lot more like, I guess, rugged, and the beard's a little longer. But overall, not major changes for Nasir. At number 12 on the list, we have Aaron Holiday. So we already talked about Justin Holiday, now we have Aaron Holiday. They add the face scan update and then cornrows. See, on the left it doesn't look bad, but the thing is, that looks like last gen. On the right, it's definitely a brand new next gen version of Aaron Holiday, and that's what you like to see. Very clean. At number 13 on the list, we have Vincent Poirier, who was on the Celtics and also on, I believe, the 76ers. Now he's a free agent. So on the left, they had the player created scan for a long time, but I mean, this is a 73 overall. You better have an actual face scan for him, and now you do. Very, very good. On the right, you have like the details on the eyebrows. It's actually one of the best ones I've seen. They don't have his tattoos though, which I believe he has tattoos, and they didn't add them from my understanding, but the beard is a lot more detailed. The face is completely accurate. The hair is really good. And the eyebrows have that specific detail that looks just like Vincent. Very, very good and clean. I'm very proud of 2K for this one. This one's very nice. At number 14 on the list, we have Quinn Cook, one of obviously the bigger names in the NBA. He was on the Lakers and on the Warriors, so he's been a pretty bigger name in the NBA. On the left, it looked decent, but on the right, the hair on the top of his head is even longer. He hasn't shaved in a couple days on his cheeks, and his face is a little more detailed, and the skin tone has changed a little bit. All these little things, and I think the little scar on his forehead makes it look even more realistic than I could have ever imagined for Quinn Cook. At number 15 on the list, we have Pat Connaughton, 73 overall on the Bucks. You know, on the left, that looks pretty bad. The blonde hair looks like super unrealistic. On the right, that beard is like hyper realistic. The face like coloration is really, really good. Even though the hair is a little short, it's still good enough to where I think it looks realistic enough as Pat Connaughton. Very, very good one too. At number 16 on the list, Desmond Bane. Desmond Bane had no face scan in the game before. He's a 75 overall on the Grizzlies. He better have one now, and now he does. They even have the freckles on his cheeks and the mustache. It's very, very clean. At number 17 on the list, we have Edmund Sumner. Edmund Sumner's one of the higher flyers in the NBA. I believe he was in the dunk contest. He was very, very good. And dude can jump. I've seen this dude poster a couple of Knicks players this season. They cut his hair. They already had the tattoos. The face scan is updated, but just barely. Not enough to where like I could really talk about it too much. But I get a little facial hair on the chin added as well. Not major changes, but changes for sure. And then finally, at number 18, we have Ty Jerome, 76 overall on the Thunder. Another one of those players who started off as like a 68, 69 overall, had a couple good games with the Thunder, and now he blew up. You know, the Thunder, they did a pretty good job here. The hair is kind of like mine, low-key, you know? We kind of spicy. The beard is also kind of like mine. Actually, now that I look about it, I mean, I'm not saying he looks like me, but he has the accents that I do. You know what I mean? Even the ear is kind of pointy. Is that dad? But out of all seriousness, it looks really, really good. Ty Jerome, 100% solid here. Okay, that is all the fixes for this patch. That's all of them. Hopefully, this last patch we get for 2K is going to fix everybody else, because there's so many, like Julius Randle and Jason Tatum. Like, we need those fixes. What do y'all think? Leave it in the comments below. And if you like this channel, give it a sub. And I'll see you guys next time.